At 18, I stood in the living room with my life stuffed into one trash bag while my dad looked at me like I was already a lost cause. "You're a failure," he said, flat and cold. "We're done carrying you." My mom wouldn't even make eye contact. My brother leaned against the wall with that little smirk that said, "I told you so." And just like that, I was out. No backup plan, no savings, no couch waiting for me. Just me and the sidewalk. What they didn't know, what they couldn't even picture, was that 12 years later, they'd be standing outside my office building, waiting in line, hoping I'd give them a shot at a job. But the road from that front door to that office wasn't some glow-up montage. It was brutal. It was lonely. It was the kind of grind that either breaks you or builds you different. I didn't grow up broke. We had a decent house, decent schools, decent everything. But love in my house, that was performance-based. My brother was the golden child. Straight A's, varsity sports, family bragging rights. I was the "why can't you be more like him" kid. If I got an 85, they asked about the missing 15 points. If I tried something new and it flopped, it became evidence. Over time, their voices got stuck in my head. By senior year, I low-key believed I wasn't built for success. When college got tough and I struggled to find direction, they didn't see a kid who needed guidance. They saw proof they were right. So they cut me off, financially, emotionally, completely. That night, I didn't just lose a home. I lost the idea that anyone had my back. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been the disappointment in the family? The one nobody bet on? If you've ever felt counted out, drop a "been there" in your mind right now. Because what happened next? That's for everyone who's ever been slept on. The first night out there, I crashed at a bus station, used my hoodie as a pillow, told myself it was temporary. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Weeks turned into months of bouncing between cheap motels, random couches, and sometimes straight up sleeping outside. I picked up whatever job would take me. Dishes, warehouse shifts, cleaning offices at 2 a.m. My hands were cracked from chemicals, my back always sore. Some days I ate once. Some days I stretched a bag of chips like it was a 5-course meal. Rejection became normal. I'd show up to interviews trying to look sharp, praying they wouldn't ask about my address. Most times they did, and most times that was the end of it. Friends slowly ghosted. Calls stopped getting returned. I remember sitting behind a grocery store one night after getting turned down again, just staring at the ground thinking, maybe they were right about me. That thought, that was the lowest point. Not being broke, not being tired, but almost believing I deserved it. The shift didn't come with fireworks. It came with a decision. One afternoon, I found myself in a public library, mostly because it was warm. I started watching free tutorials on the computers, basic tech skills, business videos, resume tips, stuff I'd always thought was for other people. I realized something that hit hard. Nobody was coming to save me. If my life was going to change, it had to be because I changed it. So I made a promise. No more pity parties. If I was going to be broke, I'd at least be broke learning something. I spent lunch breaks studying instead of scrolling. I listened to podcasts while mopping floors. I practiced speaking confidently even when I didn't feel it. Progress was slow, and yeah, I messed up a lot, but every small win felt like leveling up in real life. Eventually, I landed an entry-level office gig because I knew software most applicants didn't bother learning. I showed up early, stayed late, took on projects nobody wanted. I wasn't the smartest guy in the room, but I was the hungriest. I saved every extra dollar, started freelancing online at night, slept maybe 5 hours if I was lucky. The first business idea I tried flopped. The second barely moved, but the third started getting traction. It was small, just me in a rented room with a laptop and too much caffeine. Then one client turned into 5. 5 turned into 20. I hired one employee, then another. There were setbacks, deals falling through, months where I thought payroll might wreck me, but quitting wasn't on the menu anymore. I wasn't chasing revenge. I was chasing peace. I wanted a life where nobody could pull the rug out from under me again. By year 10, the company was solid. By year 12, we moved into a legit office in a downtown building with glass walls and my name on the door. I remember standing there alone one evening, looking at the city lights, thinking about that bus station bench. Same person, different mindset. Then came the morning that felt unreal. My receptionist knocked and said, "Hey, there are a few people here asking about job openings. They say they know you." I walked out to the lobby, and there they were. My parents, my brother. They looked older, smaller somehow. The confidence they used to wear like armor, gone. My dad cleared his throat and told me his business had tanked. Debt piled up, the house was gone. They'd heard my company was hiring. He asked if he could help them out. Just like that. I won't lie, a younger version of me would have loved that moment, imagined it 100 times. But standing there, I didn't feel powerful. I felt calm. Success had already proved what it needed to prove. I told them we have a standard hiring process. Applications, interviews, qualifications. Same rules for everybody. I said I'd make sure HR gave them a fair shot, just like any other candidate. No sarcasm, no "I told you so," just boundaries. That was the real flex, not revenge, but control. Here's the lesson. People will label you based on a chapter, not the whole book. They'll call you lazy when you're lost. They'll call you a failure when you're still figuring it out. But being doubted can either shrink you or sharpen you. Rock bottom isn't the end. It's a reset button. The grind? It's not pretty. It's not Instagram worthy. It's lonely, exhausting, and sometimes straight up unfair. But if you keep stacking small wins, if you keep betting on yourself when nobody else does, the comeback hits different. So if you're in that season right now, broke, overlooked, underestimated, hear me when I say this. Don't let somebody else's limited vision become your ceiling. Move in silence. Build in the dark. Let them sleep on you. One day, they might just be standing in your lobby, realizing they had you all wrong.